We want to welcome up David Schmidt, but guys, first of all, I just want to say, listen, we don't take this lightly. Steve and I, and David, I want you to know that we put our whole heart into this building. We know exactly where we're going. We know exactly what we're doing. We know exactly where to take the people to the finish line, or I say where they choose to be in their business, whether it's financial, health-wise, it could be even like a mindset thing. So David, you need to know that Steve and I don't take this lightly. We put our whole heart into it. We are so excited and honored to be leading This Is It team with amazing leadership that we have. But you need to know that we are so blessed. I mean, I could literally cry that we knew that when we prayed and we interviewed you the very first time. I remember asking you crazy questions. Can you keep up? All these different questions that we asked you, but we're serious and we are so blessed. And Steve and I say every day that, you know what, there's more lives to change. There's more lives to change. There's more lives to bless. And just being in a relationship with an amazing community of people as This Is It team can help you even live longer. I mean, that to me is amazing. So we don't take it lightly. You know that. We are so blessed, and we are coming in 2025 stronger and more powerful, more dynamic, more polished to rise up this entire LifeWave organization, whether you're in This Is It team or you're on the sideline in a different team. Man, we're encouraging everyone. It is the time. Don't play games. And when you play games, you're playing games literally with people's lives, whether it's their health or whether it's finances or whether it's just even in a relationship that you can change their values and stuff. So listen, we're so excited. I'm going to let Steve say hi.
Hey, hello, David. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Hey, Steve. Great to see you and Gina. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thank you so much for inviting me on. And, of course, greetings from Denmark, and Christina sends her regards as well. Yes. She's just in the kitchen right now getting together for a family event we're having tomorrow.
Oh, excellent, excellent. We love her and we appreciate her so much. And I know that your kids, yourself, and her sacrifice to be on this Zoom, we don't take it lightly, and we're so grateful. Seriously, we are grateful. But just for that, our whole team is ready to rise up in 2025. Like never like you've ever seen. I'm serious.
It's going to be absolutely amazing. There's a number of things that you already know about. Of course, you were there at the grand opening of the office in Utah. You got to see the Welcome Center. You got to see some of the new initiatives that we have coming for 2025, like the documentary. But there's some things that we haven't unveiled yet that we're crazy excited about. I'm hoping, as a matter of fact, that before the end of January, that we get to unveil something new that we've been putting together that's going to be a first in the network marketing industry. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. And of course, not to also mention that we have the water machine that's coming out in 2025, and that's going to complement X39 and all of our patches and take people's results to the next level once again. So really looking forward. Incredibly grateful for the year that we've just had, being the fastest growing company in the world in our industry. We're going to hit just over 600 million in sales this year. So we're up more than 50% from last year. And of course, we're on track. We could hit that magic billion number next year, but we're certainly going to come very close to it. But just so incredibly grateful for the position that we're in. And of course, we're changing lives all over the planet. Now with the technology that we have and the new technologies that are coming out.
Hey, what an amazing story. It's exciting. We've been loving this ride. We're so fired up about what happened in 2024. And This Is It team is so excited about looking for the future. Can you say anything that you want to mention to these great folks that have put their heart and their blood, sweat, and tears and dedication to building on This Is It team here for 2024, and maybe anything else, as far as some sales records or anything that went on in the, a little kind of recap of 2024 toward the end of the year here.
Well, incredible, incredible year, absolutely incredible year. First of all, as I mentioned, the growth for the year was up 50% over the year before that. And I had spoken with Stuart Johnson at the DSN, and he said once again that for 2024, LifeWave is going to retain its rank as the #1 fastest growing direct sales company in the world. So I want to absolutely extend my thanks, congratulations, and appreciation to your team and to yourselves for doing such an extraordinary job. Absolutely extraordinary. You guys are leading the way for the rest of the world. There's so many things that happened during the past year. If I was going to think about what we've done with our manufacturing to continue to expand, we've taken on a brand new 70,000 square foot facility that we're going to be building out. And by the time that we get to 2026, we'll be able to support a company doing $3 billion a year in sales. So we laid the foundation for that this year, and we're well on our way. Another initiative that we began this year that we haven't talked about, but it's going to go into the pilot phase next year, is we're working on a solution with robotics so that we can offer 24/7 order fulfillment. So we haven't made this official yet. You and your team are the first ones that are hearing about it. But we intend before the end of next year to go into this pilot phase and then kind of be full into it by 2026. But that's one of the things that we're heading to doing, is going to a 24/7 order fulfillment. We've been very successful at integrating new AI solutions into the company. And in fact, we took on a gentleman who's leading our AI initiatives. He came out of Department of Defense, and the type of things that we're looking at is how to make our customer service 24/7, and to do that with a balance of human beings and also with artificial intelligence. We've also, this past year, been able to take the hologram technology that we work with to a whole new level. And we're just doing a pilot program with this now. But where it's going is that we're going to use this technology to give our brand partners something that everyone wants, which is more time. So imagine now when you can be a hologram in a computer, and you can be at a website, and someone can go to that website 24 hours a day and ask you questions, and everything is AI driven, and you're able to respond with whatever question that new brand partner or customer may have. Of course, the other way that we've used this technology is, I was in Florida last week, but there was a meeting going on in Taiwan and in Tokyo, and I appeared on stage as a hologram at both of those meetings while still being from the comfort of my lab in Florida. And at the meeting in Tokyo, I spoke Japanese. Meeting in Taiwan, I was speaking Chinese. So our intention is to make this technology available to all of our brand partners so you can build a global business. Language isn't a barrier, and you're getting more time to build your business. So there's obviously a lot more things going on. Another thing I'm really excited about for the future that's coming up is this documentary. And there's actually also some other initiatives that go with that. But basically, we're looking to bring awareness about LifeWave far beyond network marketing and direct sales. So the goal with this, we're working with Mickey Willis, who's an award-winning film producer, is to submit the documentary into a film festival, get an award, and then bring this out to Netflix, Amazon Prime, so tens of millions of people around the world can hear about LifeWave and the technologies that we have. So we have huge plans for the company, and that's just in the coming year.
You know what? What's exciting about what you just said is people are going to start be able to hear, and I feel you got the exact same vision as Gene and I. We really want to change people's perception of what they feel about our industry, because with the kind of, what we get to see and what the emotions that we get to feel of people having their lives change is like no other industry I've ever seen. So I can't wait for people to see that. We homeschooled our kids in the 90s. Everybody thought that was strange, but now it's common. They actually hire my daughter, who is a teacher. That's all she does is teach parents and help the kids homeschool. So it's my whole different realm. That's what I see with our industry as well, especially the fact that people have to be able to generate more income that a normal job is going to create with today's economy.
That's for sure.
So everything that you're doing, we really appreciate, especially this documentary is going to be wild. You know what I was going to say to you that I really appreciate you is the way you started this business, where you were an inventor. You didn't do what a normal network marketing owner would do, where they want to go make money first. And then they're just going to go find some product. And I'm not saying some of the products aren't great, but they're not near like the life-changing. You lived, breathed, and slept. It was your life's calling to come up with what we have.
And even threw in a savings account.
And you went through
Dallas.
Almost 2 bankruptcies. And then you decided to drop this type of way to, you drop the patches inside a network, but it wasn't something you sought out to do, which is why I believe we have such an incredible opportunity working together with you and helping everyone, because the product is so much more extreme than anything else that I've ever seen in our 36 years of being in this industry. But I want to thank you for all that you've done.
Oh, I so appreciate that. This is really, this is an incredible synergy that we have, and a symbiotic relationship between the development of the products and the sales and the marketing. And this is what I love about network marketing, is that we get to work in this beautiful partnership to have this vision about improving people's lives all over the planet. And we're reaching incredible success with that. And, the way I see LifeWave is that we have this opportunity today to completely redefine the network marketing sales channel. There's been, of course, a lot of big companies like Rodan and Fields and Beachbody that have left the channel and have dropped out. And, they're really not seeing the big picture. In the coming years, we're going to see an absolute explosion in the direct sales channel. And this is all because of technologies like AI that are just coming now and becoming available. But the other side of this, of course, is that we're investing huge amounts of money in our research to look at how can we work with the basic mechanisms of light to improve the way that people heal, accelerate the healing process, build up people's immune systems, give them more energy, improve people's fitness. I'm working with protocol right now. This is using X39, X49, and our water machine. And I'm going to say, I know Renita Brannon is on. I'm going to tell Renita that I'm getting ready to go into the gym with her and her family and work out, because in the past 3 weeks, I went from a 245-pound bench press to a 300-pound bench press. And I did that with 10 minutes of exercise per week. So we're working with some really cool, innovative tech to radically change people's fitness level, to bring them better strength, stamina, and do it all completely naturally. So that's one of the new things that we're working on. My daughter made an amazing discovery in the lab with the water machine, and we believe we found a way to take microplastics out of people's bodies using the new water machine that we're just coming out with. And of course, that's an enormous problem, but we got some initial evidence of that in our lab. So that's going to be another benefit that people get from using this water. So incredibly excited that we get to build this company together and radically improve people's lives in the process.
I love the fact too that you're a scientist. You're going toward the betterment of mankind, coming up with this incredible technology, and then by dropping this into a network marketing opportunity, not only does everyone that touches and patches themselves with this incredible technology get a health benefit, but now all of a sudden they get a financial reward. So you get a double whammy of emotional, fulfillment from people, which I just love the fact that you can enjoy that as well as we do. And it's amazing.
Yeah, we have a plan over the next 7 years of releasing new technologies, new products based on the water machine technology that provide benefits that you can't get today from any other product. And these are things that we've already patented, and we have new patents that are in process. But when I talk to our marketing team about it, they're like, well, this is a marketer's dream because we have this technology that works incredibly fast. It's patented. We're the only company that has it, and we're radically improving people's lives in the process. So there's a lot more of this to come. And then, of course, we've already developed our drone technology, which I promise our drones are not flying over New Jersey. That's not us. That's not us. And we have a home for those people that have come out to our welcome center in Utah. We have a home power generation system that will be coming out within about 5 years or so. And that's just going to continue to expand our business opportunity way beyond where we are today. I mean, imagine using electricity and making money in the process.
Wow.
Yes.
I just love the fact that we're looking beyond. LifeWave is ready for the future, and we've got plenty of things that are to come to help everybody win and succeed. Let's talk a little bit about X39. This is your baby. Tell us a little bit how this came to fruition real quick, if you don't mind, just somebody that's brand new here and how you came up with this incredible technology and how it works.
So X39, so the original LifeWave technology came back in the late 1990s. And at the time I had a company in the North Georgia area. And we were developing, my team, new power generation technologies for the U.S. Navy. And we were doing that through a number of government contractors like General Dynamics Electric Boat. And I had invented this new way of making oxygen on subs that was thought to be impossible. So a fellow there that ran Black Project said, hey, we're coming out with this mini sub for Navy SEALs, and I want you to take a look at it and see what kind of contribution you can make. And so the SEALs were going to be going on these missions that were 30, 60 hours long. And I thought, they're going to use amphetamines, caffeine to stay awake. Maybe we could come up with a technology that could keep them awake, give them energy without having to use these drugs. And that was the original impetus behind creating the energy enhancer patches. So over the years, we did research. I investigated other applications for the technology. And back in the late 2000s, I thought, well, the future of medicine is going to be stem cells. So let's take a look and see if we can create some new technology in the field of activating stem cells without having to inject them into the body. So I came up with this concept, and I went to Dr. Tim O'Brien at the National University of Ireland. This is in the next town over from where we have our office in Ireland. So I met with Dr. O'Brien, who's a very prominent stem cell scientist, wonderful man. And the main problem that he was dealing with as a medical doctor was having to tell a patient that he had to amputate their foot or leg because of diabetic neuropathy and diabetic lesions. So I thought, okay, this could be a good thing to research. So we started getting these MSC stem cells and exposing them to different types of electromagnetic energy with devices that I invented. And we found that we could activate those stem cells with energy and, of course, eventually with light. And this was really revolutionary because it meant that you don't have to go for a $5,000 injection of stem cells that may be dangerous and may not work. You could just apply a patch to the body, stimulate the skin with light, elevate copper peptide, and the copper peptide is going to improve the health and the vitality of the stem cells. We've demonstrated that our patches elevate copper peptide now through about 8 clinical studies. So this is potentially life-changing for people as a daily method for helping to reset about 1/3 of the genes in the body to a more youthful state and keep their copper peptide levels elevated, which supports the health and vitality of the stem cells.
Wow. You know, I will tell you that when the minute you mentioned what you said about the diabetic and neuropathy, my friend Andre Devoti, he's actually an SPD on our team.
He just texted me saying that
that was him.
Just saved me.
He was about to have his leg amputated when my friend Linda mailed him the patches, and he put it on the very first night. His pain went away, and within 3 months, all the flesh, his flesh was being eaten to the bone. I have pictures I can't show with people that have weak stomachs because it's so ugly, but he's completely feeling incredible, and he's playing with his kids at 42 or 43 now, but it's life-changing. Can you imagine? And that's what happened.
Yeah,
he actually had to have
emotional.
chemo, and that's where it came from. That's where the neuropathy came from. So it's amazing. Hey, I wanted to ask you something. Now, you understand that people that are using X39 as like their flagship product, Gina and I, that's what we do. Tell the people what you're seeing, because I want you to be honest and let them know what they really see or what you see in the business, that the people that use it as their flagship. Now, again, if you came to me in the middle of the night and you knocked on my door, I'll have all the patches on me because I believe in you that much. But when I start with a new prospect,
that's the, what is it? FOMO, fear of missing out.
So you got, okay. So, but I want to make sure that you understand that when Gina first heard of this industry, she was a flight attendant raising 4 kids, helping me with my business. They're busy and they can't learn everything all at once.
Fran, there's got to be a way out of here.
So would you
have to do so many jobs?
So from your experience and what you've seen so far, the people that use X39 as their flagship, they're seeing their businesses explode in a very big way. Would you agree?
It's incredible. It's incredible. Without question, the training system that you're using is the best in the world. We see in markets, I won't name names out of respect for these leaders because they're great people. But some of the leaders that we have around the world are stuck in the old ways of marketing, and they want to just market all of the patches. And it's such a huge mistake. What you're doing and what we see is that when people focus on X39, they go in, they focus on X39, that's their lead product. They're having tremendous success in their business. And the growth that we're seeing, absolutely is a testament to that. So anyone that's on the line that's new, that's getting started, you start with X39. It's our most powerful product. It's simple to use, and the results are powerful. And most people are going to see results the very first day.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go. I'm glad that you said that. That's great. I want everyone to hear that in a big way. Back to some questions about our health. How important is in long-term use of the X39 for someone who might have some chronic challenges that they're going through that may not feel improvement for the first 2 to 3 months? What is your advice if they're not seeing the improvement right away? And again, they got some chronic challenges and they really want to push through it.
I'm super healthy. I don't have any issues except life, which you can't get around it, right? But I'm just trying to be funny. But anyways, I took 6 weeks to get a testimony, but man, I used everyone and their mother's testimony.
Yeah.
So
tell them a little bit about what you would advise people that might not seeing a quick result, 2 to 3 months, and especially for like people that are chronically challenged.
Yeah. So we've performed over 80 clinical studies now. So what I'm about to say is based on the evidence in these studies that we've collected. And the first thing is that when we're measuring people's blood, when we're measuring urine samples, looking at the metabolism, taking bioelectrical tests, almost everybody responds immediately. But it doesn't mean that people are going to see or feel those changes immediately. But for example, when people wear X39, the copper peptide levels will go up to statistical significance within 24 hours. But that doesn't mean people will necessarily see effects. And when someone has a chronic issue, so let's say that someone is dealing with arthritis. So this is a chronic inflammatory problem. The issue here is that the stem cells, and this was discovered, I met this medical doctor. He was at Sanford Burnham in La Jolla, California. Great guy. And his discovery was that the stem cells in the body are attracted to inflammatory cytokines. So in other words, you get an injury, there's inflammation at the injury site, and the stem cells go in to repair the damage. That's how the stem cells know where to go. They're attracted to the inflammation. The problem, though, is that when someone is in a chronic state of disease, their antioxidant systems have failed and is not able to manage that inflammation. So when the stem cells get to the injury site, the stem cells die. And that's why the injury isn't healing. So we have to look at a systemic, holistic way of managing this. And it's absolutely possible. So the first one, people have to get enough rest. Don't underestimate the amount of rest that you need. Let's say target should be 7 hours per day, 8 hours better, but 7 hours per day. Another thing, people need to consume enough water to reduce the amount of caffeine, not rely so much on coffee, tea. Make sure people are staying hydrated, drink enough water. And the reason is that you need water to make energy and you need water to detoxify. Of course, have a healthy diet and fill in any deficiencies in your diet with supplements. So we have a phenomenal supplement that's coming out, and I've made many recommendations in the past for chronic disease on what supplements people should take to help revitalize their cells. And then, of course, exercise is important. We don't have time to get, kind of into all that. But then when you're going to use a tool like X39, then it's going to be more effective. Another thing that people can do is combine X39 with the Eon patch when they're in a chronic state, because Eon is a broad spectrum anti-inflammatory. So the combination of X39 and Eon helps to better manage inflammation and then elevate copper peptides so stem cells can do what they're supposed to. Some people, this will happen the first few weeks. Other people, it's going to take a little bit longer than that. But, I would say people need to get their foundation in line. They need to be drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, committing to a regular exercise program, eating healthy, supplementing where needed. And then tools like X39 and Eon are going to do an amazing job for them.
Excellent, excellent. So the next question is, so for the X39 patch, can you put it anywhere on your body, or is there a specific place we should put it, or just put it on wherever you have an issue? Because I'm staying compliant.
So I would say there's two ways to answer this. The first thing is when we do our studies, just as a matter of consistency and to have a protocol, we have people wear the patches either behind the neck or below the belly button. So that's just for the purpose of doing the studies. But really what we find in real life is that you can wear the patch just about anywhere and you'll get a systemic effect. Some people will have maybe an injured knee and they'll want to use X39 down on the knee, and that's totally fine. but we've certainly seen where people wear the patch behind the neck and the injury in the knee heals just fine. So it's really up to the individual. But you can wear the patch almost anywhere you want, and it's going to work just fine.
Okay, perfect. So listen, for those of you watching, if you put it here, you're going to look a little strange. So put it behind your neck, what I do, because why? It's closer to my brain.
Yeah.
Pat Curtis told me that. I love when my team teaches me stuff. So does the X39 work basically on everything?
That's an interesting question. So, the research that we do has a very simple mission statement, which is we want to make people younger, and we want to keep people young and healthy for as long as possible, and of course, reverse age. And we saw in the Bible, right, but pre-flood, people were living to be hundreds of years old, right? Methuselah was 950 years old, something around there. And the question is, we either believe that those numbers are true or not true. So my belief is Bible, and I think there's good proof for this, Bible is the inspired word of God, and every word is true.
Amen.
So we take those numbers as being the truth. So then the question is that possible? And even mainstream scientists today are saying, yeah, there shouldn't be any reason why people can't live to be 1,000 years old. So mainstream scientists today are saying, yeah, it's possible to stop aging and even reverse it. And we see signs of that. So if you keep that in mind, then what that means is that if we use technologies like X39, it gets us at least a third of the way there. X39, with Dr. Lauren Picard, who discovered copper peptide discovered, was that it will reset about 1/3 of the human genome to a more youthful state. So that means now we just got to get the other 2/3, right? So what X39 will do is improve the metabolism. It helps the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. It's going to help to manage inflammation. We see that in numerous studies, it supports the health and the vitality of the immune system in the body. Of course, we already know that it helps to mobilize stem cells. What we found in our research is that it improves the flow of energy in the body, so it improves strength and stamina. When people exercise, they recover more quickly after exercise. We also found it improves cognition. It improves people's memory, and it does that very quickly. So X39 is able to touch on, let's say not everything, but a huge amount of what people would want to have for their overall health and well-being.
Wow.
Okay, this is a trick question, the next one. If you patch for longer than 12 hours, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. People are very nervous.
I
David.
say, don't worry. You're gonna grow a third arm. Praise the Lord. Then I say, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would say, well, I once invented a patch in 2003 that regrew part of a tooth that had been pulled. And I haven't gone back and ever used that patch again. But yeah, no, it's completely harmless. What happens, this phenomena is extremely well known in light therapy, and it's called attenuation. And it simply means if you stimulate the body for too long with light, that eventually the body will stop responding. So if you leave it on for more than 12 hours, eventually the body will stop responding to the signal. So this is why we recommend 12 on, 12 off. But, there are times when I go to sleep, I leave a patch on, you remove it, wait 24 hours, and then start the patch again the following day, and it's totally fine.
Okay, well, I put the patch on the next day if I forget to take it off, because I got my monthly subscription and I got to use that 30.
True.
Even That's incredible. Now I'm gonna stay compliant on this question, so I want you to read through what I'm saying. Does the X39 accelerate dysfunctional cells in the body caused by various health challenges? You know what I mean? Or
Right.
will it only benefit the challenge toward recovering by increasing GHK and stem cell activation?
Yeah. So if I understand the question, that I would say that research by Dr. Picard and others has very clearly shown that not only does copper peptide not have any adverse effects in the body because it's a naturally occurring peptide, it will actually support the health and vitality of the immune system and improve the immune system response in a number of, very specific cases. Right. Let's say, for example, I know one of the concerns that people have had is with cancer.
Right.
And I want to be very clear in that we've never used X39 in a study with cancer. But there have been plenty of studies that have been done on the use of copper peptide in the treatment of cancer. And the question is, pretty natural one in the sense that, well, is this going to have any effect on cancer cells? Will it speed up cancer cells? And what's actually found, this was established by Stanford University by their medicine department, that, and it's on their website, that stem cells will mutate. And this is in the presence of carcinogens. So let's say you take something like nicotine and it mutates a stem cell into a cancer cell. Will then copper peptide accelerate that cancer cell? And the answer is absolutely no. As a matter of fact, what you want to do is elevate your copper peptide levels to support healthy gene expression and minimize, I'm not going to make a treatment claim, certainly. But basically, for cancer therapy, the answer is you want to get those carcinogens out of the body, detoxify, use things like oxygen therapies, well-known therapies to get these things out of the body, and then the immune system can do the rest.
Great.
Amazing. Amazing. Can you tell us what the adhesive of the X39 patch is made of? And if someone has an issue with the adhesive, what can they do?
Yeah, so great questions. We've been using 3M as our supplier for the adhesive for 20 years now. And it's a hypoallergenic acrylate adhesive, and it's medical grade. And about 1 in 10,000 people are allergic to the adhesive. So essentially, if someone has an allergy to Band-Aids, they may have an allergy to our patches. So that would be the bad news for that small group. But the good thing is the patches stimulate the skin with light. So you don't have to apply the patch directly to the skin. It happens to be the best way to do it. But if someone were to take the patch and put it on the inside of their clothing so the patch can be exposed towards the skin, they'll still get those benefits. So if they're allergic to the adhesive, no problem. They can put it on their clothing facing the skin and they'll be fine.
So I am 1 in, what did you say, 10,000?
Yeah.
That have
1 in
a
10,000.
reaction. So I had for 2 weeks irritation of the skin. But I said, I am wearing this. Why? Because I prayed for this. And I know God has a big plan for us. And I kept pushing through. And after 2 weeks, completely gone. Yeah. No irritation. Woohoo! Awesome. Yeah.
Must have been one of your ailments that it took care of.
I didn't have any ailments.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question that you've ever been asked this question. But all of us in the field that are not the inventor would like to know, and maybe you can help us answer a question, but do you ever run into skeptical people about your own technology? like we could bump into a few people that are skeptical. And it seems to me like when you see it in your eyes, they're not as skeptical as maybe a new person that doesn't have that belief in their eyes or in their voice, the passion in their voice. But do you ever run into skeptical people? You're the inventor, and what can we share with somebody who is skeptical if they would like it to work for them?
Yeah, so what I have found is that the number of skeptics today are pretty minimal compared to where it was when I first started. When I first started, there were huge numbers of skeptics. And, you know, this is really a lesson for anyone that's an entrepreneur. When you know what it is that you're supposed to do with your life, and you have all the evidence to support that, you have to disregard what skeptics and naysayers have to say, and you just have to keep pressing forward. That's the only way you're ever going to make your dreams a reality. In the very early days, you know, if you keep in mind that I was working with nuclear engineers, and then I'm going out and speaking with guys at a gym, and the, you know, athletic trainers, nice people. But they're saying, well, you know, I think this is a scam. I don't think this thing works. Like, how did I go from working with nuclear engineers last week to this? I don't get it. So, but it, you know, it's all fine. You know, what it meant was, okay, let's come up with a plan. Let's get as many clinical studies done as possible. Let's work with doctors in using this. Let's work with athletes, get some testimonials from them. And then over time, you know, build up the case where people are saying, yeah, okay, this thing is actually working. So when I would say I don't really run into skeptics so much today as people really wanting to know, well, how is this possible? You know, this company's been in business 20 years, over 80 clinical studies, over 150 patents. So it's more of, I don't understand how this technology could work. Explain it to me. So I've met at this point with many medical doctors, scientists, and they've all been extraordinarily impressed with our work. In fact, I'm not allowed to mention his name at the moment because I'm under confidentiality, but there is a very well-known PhD in the United States who is on the board of a well-known medical journal who I went back and forth for months with him. And he was extremely skeptical. But to his credit, he said, okay, I'll evaluate the clinical studies. And he eventually came back. It took, I think, 4 months. He eventually came back and he said, I reviewed your clinical studies, and your clinical studies support every single claim you make about X39. So, you know, sometimes takes a little while. But the fact of the matter is that we have the evidence there. So, you know, we're not going to get everyone as a customer or a brand partner. And sometimes it's best just to move on to someone else. But if someone is willing to take the time and look into what it is that we have, what they'll find is that our clinical studies absolutely support the claims that we make about our products.
Thank you so much. And I think that answer is going to help a lot of people to push through, because, you know, a new person is not much different than you starting out with that gym person or the trainers when you first started. So now they've got at least your backing of what happened to you and your experience. Okay, we did enough on the X39. I got a quick question here, and it's not an easy one, but I want you to address it because I know your heart. And I know that when Gina and I first asked you, we said, hey, are you going to allow anyone to dump the product online? And your answer was absolutely not. The fact that the owner of the company's philosophy is absolutely not, nobody's allowed to do it, doesn't mean they're not going to try. So can you just let everyone know how you feel about your philosophy of allowing people to dump our incredible products with your great technology, this impeccable exclusive technology, and what you're working toward to help us get this taken care of?
Resolve it.
Yeah, this is really simple. We're completely committed to network marketing as our distribution method, period. This channel has absolutely changed my life. I was talking to some folks about this the other day. We were interviewing a number of people that wanted to work from LifeWave. They were victims of some of the closures of a number of different companies in the industry, and they're not surprisingly, we're getting phenomenal talent that's interested and wants to come on board and work for us. And during that conversation, one of my comments was that I feel a tremendous amount of loyalty to the two of you and to every single brand partner that has built this company. I wouldn't be in the position, Christina and I would not have the life that we have today if it wasn't for LifeWave and all of the hard work of our brand partners. And I think of all of you like family. And the idea that we would sell the company or go a different route, it would be heresy to me. It would be stabbing people in the back. It just wouldn't be something that I could do. So that would be the first thing. We're completely committed to the channel. The second thing is we have to protect the channel. So what our compliance team and our legal team has done is put tremendous amounts of time and money in working with eBay, working with Amazon. And as a matter of fact, we have a lawsuit that's been filed against the perpetrators of people that have marketed on eBay and Amazon. So we've gone to the extent of spending, I dare say it's been hundreds of thousands of dollars now in legal fees to go and petition Amazon, eBay, other online retailers so we could file lawsuits against people that are doing this and enforce our policies. So it hasn't been cheap, but you have to make a stand and say, we have our policies, you're not allowed to do it, and we're enforcing it.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you, David. We all thank you.
Because I'm telling you, my phone blows up with this.
Yeah, and we care about the people just like you do.
And I hate to say this, I don't like to use the word waste of time, but it is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Where we can be speaking into someone's life, meeting someone new, sharing the opportunity. So it is much, much needed. And I know that a lot of people have struggles with this. And I tell them, hey, I got your back. David's got your back. And just it is time consuming and it does take time. But thank you for investing and putting into that, because that just reassures everyone who's on here and everyone who's going to share this replay of this Zoom. It's going to give them comfort and knowing that you got their backs and you got our backs, and we appreciate it.
Hey, we got a great question for you. If anyone missed your presentation, it was your last presentation in Dallas. It was incredible.
Amazing.
Where you talked about, you've been in the business now 20 years. You had a couple stories, but the two ones that stood out for me was how you almost went bankrupt twice. One of them was because of credit card fraud. The other one is when you came up with launching the X39 technology. But the 20 years of putting yourself through this and saying that this is my life calling, like you just mentioned earlier, and that it took 10 years of research, $4.5 million to bring the X39 to fruition. There's people on here, this is their own business. Can you give them some insight of your mindset of what you're thinking to push through some of these challenges so that maybe the first person they say and they talk about the X39 doesn't say yes, or maybe someone they thought was going to be this big person on their team wasn't the one answer, that can help them push through so that they can have success as they go into 2025?
So, what's amazing is, first of all, I am so grateful for the problems and challenges that I've had in my life, because it allows you, sometimes people say, well, why does God allow people to suffer? And there's a lot of different ways of answering that question. But, human beings were the ones that made the choice to fall from grace. And but if there weren't challenges in life, we really wouldn't find out who we are, what we're made of, and whether or not we're really committed to doing a certain thing, right? You find out in your marriage, you're not always going to agree on things. You're going to have differences, but when you work through those differences, your marriage becomes stronger, in the process. And when we have business challenges, it allows us to think about, okay, are we really committed to doing this? How can I solve this problem? And then once you do, it's like, okay. With X39, as difficult of a time as that was in my life, I'm so grateful I went through that fire. It was 2016, and we had this computer system crash. And during 2017, we nearly went out of business. We were just kind of staying even with sales, but we could have gone out of business at any time. And I kept thinking, we've got all this time and money that we've put into stem cell research. I'm tired of being on the defense. I want to go on the offense. And I was like, I've got to be Tony Stark. I've got to get back into the cave. I've got to invent and figure out, how do I take all of this things that we've learned about activating stem cells and put it into a product that we can sell and get some excitement back in the business. And X39 was born out of that problem. So if we hadn't gone through that problem and everything had been okay, it's possible X39 would never have been born. I don't know that for sure, but I know how it was born. So I think we were incredibly blessed. And I think what I would say is that when people go through hardships, and I've had plenty, when people go through hardships, you can just be a few feet away from living in the greatest, most dynamic time in your life. And that's what happened with me, and that's what happened with LifeWave. I went through a period of time I didn't know if LifeWave was going to survive. Were we going to go out of business? A few years later, we're the #1 company in the world. Things are great. I'm married to an amazing woman, have an amazing family, over 150 patents. The water machine is out now, changing lives with that. We've already saved a number of people's lives with that technology. That never would have happened if X39 hadn't been born. So for any entrepreneur, it's a hard road to travel. But when you stick with it, when you overcome, it's absolutely extraordinary. There's nothing better.
Wow, that was incredible for everybody.
Yeah.
That's what everyone needs to hear, to just press through. And you know what? Other people have gone through, maybe it's something different, but it really doesn't matter. It's the same mindset that you have to have when you press through. David, we've been so blessed by you sharing with us. I got one more thing to talk about before we just jump off the air here, but January 10th and 11th, we're going to be having our virtual convention, Rise Up. You're going to be speaking at it. I know you got some surprises. You've been talking about some things you might be talking about. Can you tell them how important it is to get their new year kicked off early and attend an incredible event that we're going to be all speaking at and encouraging them? And this is they're going to be the leaders of the team that is creating this kind of momentum are going to be doing all the teaching, as well as you and Meredith and other folks from the corporate team. So can you let them know what you see and how important it is to attend things like this?
Yeah, incredibly important. It's consistently what the industry shows is that people who attend events, they take the time to invest themselves, learn, apply what they've learned, are the ones that are succeeding. So anyone that's interested in building their business, hearing from people that have done it, that have been successful, they need to be there. I'm really excited about being there, of course. And yeah, of course, I'm bringing a surprise with me. So as you know, so looking forward to that. We're going to have 2025 is going to be an amazing year. I'm hoping to start off before the end of January with an enormous surprise, and that's going to kind of set the pace for things to come during the year. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And of course, we're already in the planning stages for our global conference in Anaheim next October. When you have a 800 drone show, and the Blues Brothers, Gwen Stefani, Maroon 5, William Shatner, Nicole Malachowski. When you have this when you have this incredible lineup of speakers and things, I know we've set the bar really high. So we want to have just another phenomenal conference in October. We're really excited and looking forward to it. And we're looking to do a few things before the global conference, leading up to it, to also get our leaders and our brand partners excited about it. So really incredible things coming in the year ahead.
Wow, they got to be there.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. So we are so excited about Rise Up, because really it is the goal for 2025 for each person to rise up.
Yeah.
And I just texted Santa Claus, and all of This Is It team are getting rollerblades for Christmas. Why? Because we're stepping it up, guys. We are stepping it up. But thank you for your time. And just in closing out, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that the patch doesn't treat, cure, heal, or diagnose, but you put the patch on, your body kind of goes into a reboot. Your body starts working on its own, just like God intended. And then, guys, hey, listen, we can't promise you the sky, the income, but listen, we know where we're going. We know what we're doing. If you lock arms with This Is It team, guys, our goal is to take you to where you want to be in 2025. But listen, you got to put the work in. We'll run circles around you to get you where you want to be. And it is a blessing, this company, this product, this industry. And of course, you, David Schmidt, Thank you. You and Christina, enjoy your special time together. And we all of This Is It team is praying for you for a hedge of protection around your whole entire family, the company, and everything you do, and all the corporate people. We are grateful because we know that you all work 24/7. We think we run like crazy. No, you guys pass us up, but we're blessed and we're honored, and we love each one of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, David, so much for sharing with us, and have a fantastic holiday season. Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we look forward to kicking off the new year early at Rise Up.
Oh yeah, we're coming in hot 2025.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. God bless you and your families. Have such a great holiday season. Enjoy your Christmas, and looking forward to seeing you at your event.
Okay, guys, it's been fantastic. We look forward to seeing everybody for the rest of the week. It's going to be a wild, wild rest of the 2024. We're going into momentum in 2025.
And remember that this is recorded, so you can share this within an hour and a half. It will be